JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, customer shot dead in St. Elizabeth bar robbery. A patron was shot and killed during an armed robbery at a bar in Top Hill in St. Elizabeth on Saturday morning. Details about the incident remain unclear, but information received is that the patron was at the bar drinking about 1 a.m. when armed robbers pulled up on the establishment. The man reportedly refused to give them any money and he was gunned down. The deceased has not yet been officially identified. The robbers reportedly were able to make off with $7,000 from gaming boxes at the establishment. Reports emerged earlier this week that there have been a spate of robberies along the south coast of St. Elizabeth. Every night the man them are robbing the police, them not do nothing. Them get information. Them know so the perpetrators are wanted man from another parish and them don't do nothing. And see there, the robbers them kill somebody now. What the police them going to do now? Them need to do something before more people dead, one bar operator said. Montego Bay Mayor car crash on way from Sumfest. Mayor of Montego Bay, Leroy Williams, was rushed to hospital on Saturday morning after a motor vehicle accident in the vicinity of Ironshore, St. James. A well-placed source stated that the vehicle that was being driven by Williams crashed into a parked trailer during his commute home after night one of Reggae Sumfest. Further details were not provided. The impact caused Williams to sustain injuries. He was taken to the Cornwall Regional Hospital where he was admitted. Teen charged in mob killing of man in Old Harbour. A teen has been charged with the murder of a man who was mobbed on Chopton Burke Road in Old Harbour, St. Catherine on Saturday, July 1. That is 47-year-old Jason Davis, otherwise called Tubby or Kevin, a labourer of Boulders Crescent, Old Harbour in the parish. Charged with murder and conspiracy to murder was Shane Freeman, otherwise called Benji, of North Street, Old Harbour, St. Catherine. Reports are that about 2:20 p.m., Freeman and his accomplices mobbed and inflicted chop wounds on Davis. Davis was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. An investigation was launched and Freeman was arrested. Following an interview session in the presence of his attorney, he was charged. His court date has not been finalized. Freeman's accomplices are currently being sought by the police. St. Andrew man charged with brother's murder. A 25-year-old man has been charged with the stabbing death of his brother during an argument at home in St. Andrew. He is Jonathan Davis of Nicholson Square, which is located in the Delacree housing scheme. That is 33-year-old bearer Sean Palmer. The incident happened on Sunday, July 16. The police report that about 1:20 p.m., Davis and Palmer were at home when an argument developed between them. During the altercation, Davis reportedly used a knife to stab Palmer in the upper body. Palmer then ran from the house in a bid to seek assistance. However, he collapsed. He was taken to hospital where he died while undergoing treatment. A report was made to the police and Davis was arrested. He was later charged after being interviewed in the presence of his attorney. His court date has not been finalized. Ruling on Issa right to privacy case expected September 29. A ruling on the application by Amor Leon Issa seeking to quash a judge's production order granting permission to police to search her phone is to be expected on or before September 29, a panel of 3 judges said on Friday. During a constitutional hearing in the Supreme Court, the judges also extended the July 31 date in which Leon Issa is expected to compel the production order to September 29. Leon Issa is the mother of 9-year-old Gabriel King, who was murdered last year after she reported to the police that her car had been hijacked with a child inside. The mother has repeatedly failed to allow police investigators to search her cell phone after they had indicated a desire to analyze information on the device as part of the investigation into the killing of her autistic son. The St. James Parish Court had ruled that she must comply with the request for her password and she is not allowed to be present while her phone is being analyzed by experts, but her attorney and a technology expert may observe the process. The legal wrangling over access to Leon Issa's phone began on September 6, 2022, when the court granted the police's request for her to allow them access within 48 hours. When that deadline was missed, lawmen again took the Issa to court and the judge issued a new 6-day deadline that too was also missed. In March, the Supreme Court granted a stay of the order to search Leon Issa's cell phone following an application by her attorney, Chukwuemeka Cameron. The attorney requested the stay as they await the outcome of the constitutional motion filed on behalf of Leon Issa challenging the order to search her cell phone. The attorney argued that the order to search Leon Issa's cell phone is a breach of her right to privacy. Suspect in custody for fatal stabbing of call center worker. The police in Brownstown, St. Anne, have taken a man into custody in connection with the stabbing death of a 22-year-old call center worker on Friday. Andre McDonald, otherwise called Seago, a resident of Tri-C District, St. Anne, was killed at an entertainment event in the community. It's alleged that a dispute developed between McDonald and the suspect about 12:30 a.m. and a sharp object was used to cut McDonald in the back. Patrons reportedly separated the two, and McDonald went home and returned with a knife and attacked the suspect. Another physical tussle ensued, during which McDonald was stabbed in his upper body and collapsed. He was rushed to hospital but later died from his injuries. An investigation was launched, and the suspect was held by the police on suspicion of murder. Haitians facing deportation want asylum. The Haitians who landed via boat in Portland recently have applied to the government for asylum. Information Minister Robert Morgan said a letter from an attorney representing the Haitians was received yesterday. This came after human rights group Freedom Imaginaries appealed to the government to stop the deportation of 29 Haitians from Jamaica. It wrote to the government urging it to comply with the UN Refugee Agency and the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights directives to suspend the forced return of Haitians. The 24 men and 5 women were on Tuesday each fined $7,000 or 3 days of hard labor in the Portland Parish Court. The Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency is now making arrangements to have them return to Haiti. However, in a letter dated July 20, Freedom Imaginaries said the UN Refugee Agency has warned that conditions in Haiti continue to be dire and are not conducive to forced returns. In a post on his Twitter account today, Morgan disclosed that the migrants have now made a request for asylum. He stated there is a misunderstanding as to how the asylum process works, arguing that the government cannot force anyone to apply for asylum or can it force any illegal migrant to stay in Jamaica. Once a person applies for asylum, there are standard protocols based on international agreements that have to be activated. He stated there is a misunderstanding as to how the asylum process works, arguing that the government cannot force anyone to apply for asylum or can it force any illegal migrant to stay in Jamaica. Once a person applies for asylum, there are standard protocols based on international agreements that have to be activated. These are not arbitrary decisions, but based on internationally agreed and accepted protocols. 58 Blenheim, Manchester homeowners get land titles. 58 certificates of title have been handed over to homeowners in the subdivision of Blenheim in Manchester. The titles, which were facilitated under aluminum company Jamaica's resettlement initiative, were presented to the recipients during a ceremony on Wednesday at the Wembley Centre of Excellence in Clarendon. Other residents of the subdivision are also slated to receive titles for the properties they occupy. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, who brought greetings, said the process of handing over outstanding titles will continue to be expedited using the vesting order approach. This is an order of the court that is open to certain persons to make applications of property to be vested in them where a liquidator or trustee has disclaimed their interest in that holding. I want to commit to the partners that as minister I stand ready to utilize the provisions of the Act to ensure that those vesting orders are signed and that we can move to get titles to people more quickly, he said. Additionally, I want to exhort the National Land Agency if there are areas where we can use a systematic titling approach to move this along more quickly, Green further stated. Meanwhile, Jamaica's managing director, Austin Mooney, who spoke during the ceremony, thanked the title recipients for their patience and understanding while the documents were being prepared. He explained that the process to finalize land sales and deliver titles is an extensive undertaking. However, Mooney assured the persons awaiting titles that Jamaica's Land Acquisition Division, Capital Expenditure Division, Legal Department, Lands Legacy Division, and the Land Subdivision Department, among other stakeholders, are working feverishly to ensure that the documents are delivered. He said one of the main challenges relates to the subdivisional approval procedure, which is a prerequisite of the title application process. Jamaica takes its corporate responsibility very seriously. We recognize this obligation to the communities that we're working and the vendors. I want to assure you that we remain wholly committed to delivering on the outstanding titles, he stated. Meanwhile, Jamalco's Lands Closure Administrator, Tamara Grant Bogle, informed that since 2015, the company has facilitated the preparation of 956 titles. Approximately 414 titles were transferred to vendors and their beneficiaries. Additionally, 287 titles have been obtained in the name of Jamalco's partners, 237 were transferred to the Commission of Lands, while 18 titles went to the municipal corporations. We have already closed out all title obligation to our vendors in 5 of our named subdivisions, and we continue to work on closing all title obligations in our other subdivisions, Grant Bogle said. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.